You all know this congregation and this community's ties to Israel, our stance when it comes to Israel and our unyielding and unwavering commitment to the state of Israel and to the people who live there. You know, we here in the United States and even people in Israel have no way to conceptualize what it is like to have somebody ripped away from you, to not know where they are, to not know what is happening to them. And it's a pain that is unimaginable, and it's nothing that we can describe. So we don't. We let that be done by the people who live that experience every single day of their lives. And we're grateful to Yehuda Cohen, Omri Lifshitz, Rotem Sharabi, and Mauricio Schneider for being here today to share their story, to relive those painful moments so that we can share in some very, very small measure their grief. So I want to invite Yehuda, Omri, Rotem, and Mauricio to the Bama to share a little bit about their experience and their story.
Should be an expert on this already. How to turn microphones on, I guess. Because we've been doing it so long. We want to stop doing it. So my name is Maurice Schneider. Thank you for receiving us, for being here. Thank you for your support to Israel, especially. And my family is Viva's family. Shiri, Yarden, Ariel, and Kfir. Shiri is my niece. Her mother was my sister. Of course, you know that Shiri's mother and father were murdered in Kibbutz Niroz. Shiri and all the in Yarden, they live in Kibbutz Niroz also. I lost 2 family members of my family. I don't want to do 4 more. And who knows? Hashem, you're there. So we are very close, and we happen to be here in a time that there is a big chance that a deal may be signed, may be sealed, we call it. And then read the news to see if you still continue the right direction straight to be able to sign. And then I see that the government tries to find another excuse not to do it. Enough is enough. We need to sign this deal. Give up. The war will not stop with this deal. So there will be another time to fight. There will not be another time to save the hostages. More important is in Israel, and I hate to talk about governments, but I have to, because enough is enough. Every time I see it, I'm going to blow up one day, and I'm about to blow up. My burning diptyl, how do you say the bomb? It's getting shorter and shorter. I'm going to blow up. So, for the government of Israel, without mentioning any names, it's more important to kill Hamas than to save the hostages. That's the way I see it. So you have to press everybody you know in government of the United States to pressure our government in Israel to finally sign the deal. There will be enough days. The wars will continue forever with the Arab world and everybody else that hates us. We will not stop anti-Semitism. We will not stop hate. We will not stop wars. So what else can I say? I'm an American citizen. I live in New York. My whole entire family lives in Israel, and they are fed up. Most of them, I should say, not 100%, unfortunately. But like they will tell you, and I learned from there, Romney and Yehuda live in Israel, and they say, you know, and look, our organizer here, Jessica, is there too, and without those people that come with us, we were never able to come in front of you and express our feelings and send a message from Israel. So whatever you can do to press every politician, every congressman, every representative I have begged to the government of Israel to stop enough. We tear, we cry, dry tears. There's not left anymore. Thank you so much.
Hello, Shabbat Shalom. My name is Omri Lifshitz. I'm the youngest son of Oded and Yocheved Lifshitz. My mother was taken also hostage, and she was released after 17 days in Hamas tunnels. My father is still there, hostage, 84 years old. Chance of her survival are really slim. He was disappeared after he fate on day 20. And I'm also from Kibbutz Nir Oz. We lost a lot of people, 57 dead in that day. And there are still 20 that we hope alive in Gaza for my kibbutz. And we hope to bring them as soon as possible. And the reason we advocate for a ceasefire, hostage deal, and release and stop this war as soon as possible. And that's what we're asking. Anyone that can help, anyone can ask anyone, to your representatives, anyone, to call them now, because now is we feel that that's the last deal that we can have. After that, we're probably going to lose them all. The live one will probably not come back alive, and not all the dead one will return. So please ask anyone that you know to advocate your government, to push on our government to seal a deal. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming and hearing us. My name is Yehuda Cohen. I'm here for my son, Nimrod Cohen. This is my son, Nimrod Cohen, age of 20. Age of 20 now. He was taken hostage when he was 19. He was taken hostage as a soldier in uniform. He was there with his team, armed crop, with a tank, defending the border. They were outnumbered, and they were all 4 of them were taken hostages. 3 of them were assassinated before they were taken. My son was taken alive. I actually saw it from a video Hamas released same day at noon in my house. I live near Tel Aviv. Seeing the video of a tank going up in smoke near the border fence, taking the soldiers out from the top entrance, seeing my son there leaning front on the tank. I wasn't sure it was him. He was defocused at that time, but then a cutoff and a clear scene of my son Nimrod being dragged by his shoulders on the ground away, while at the background 2 bodies of his friend soldiers lying still. So this is the situation of the 7th of October. From hostages returned in the last deal more than a year ago, some of them saw him there alive and well. And through time, until end of July, we were getting from Army intelligence what they call sign of life, attached to a date, meaning there's a sign of life of Nimrod. Last time, as I said, end of July. They will not expose any other information, not to expose sources. But my son, Nimrod Cohen, he's there at the tunnels, alive, and I'm here advocating for his release. Advocating for his release, that means we want a hostage deal for releasing all the hostages. Again, my son is a soldier. So for Hamas, he's the last in line. So only a full hostage deal will release him. A hostage deal will come by a total ceasefire and IDF withdrawal from the Gaza Strip. This is the basic Hamas demand, but this is the basic need for us getting back our loved ones, for me getting back my son, but it's for the whole Israeli nation. Israeli nation are fed up with this war. There's no reason to continue this war. It's going nowhere except keeping on endangering hostages there. And we all know what happened at the end of August, where the IDF were maneuvering in an area where hostages were held. They were immediately assassinated. This is along with at least 24 other hostages who directly or indirectly was murdered because of the continuance of the IDF maneuvering in Gaza. And anyway, polls in Israel shows that 72% of the Israeli population, the Israeli nation, are for a hostage deal and for a ceasefire. The Israeli nation needs a hostage deal. And why we are facing you, why we came all this way, why I came all this way from Israel here to Florida to talk to you. So we know the new administration, the new Trump administration, many of his future administration personnel comes from here, from Florida. Florida is a very important place for the future administration, and we need your help to advocate this message to your representative, to senators, to congressmen, to future personnel in the new administration. Advocate the simple and very straight message. We need a hostage deal. We need it to come along with a ceasefire IDF withdrawal. This is the only way all the hostages, my son that I sent to the army, and is now last in the list of the one that will be freed. This is the only way they all will get out. This is the only way I will get my son free. Again, we need your help in that. We need you to help the new administration to push for a hostage deal to end this nightmare for us, so I can finally see my son again after more than a year. Thank you very much.
Just asked them if they had time for some questions, and they said, of course. So if with your permission, I'll start. Where we heard the passion that you spoke with, and you called it a nightmare, and I can't imagine that it's anything other than that. Where do you get the strength from? Where do you draw the strength from to wake up each and every morning and to continue living another day?
Currently, I have one mission in my life. I will say I lost my private life for the one mission to advocate, to fight, literally fight, in Israel, on the streets, in speeches, in the Israeli parliament, the Knesset, abroad, in Europe, in the US. I was several times in Washington meeting officials. This is my only way currently to cope. This is the only way I could bring my son back. So, again, the way I cope with this nightmare is to fight. Sitting home, looking at the ceiling will not help me. I'm not in crying, I'm not in emotion, I'm even not in hugging. I'm in advocating, I'm targeted on one thing, and that is a hostage deal that will release my son, release all the other hostages. This is the way to cope. This is the basic responsibility of a parent to his child.
So the story is like, I said, do I suffer? No, we don't. We don't suffer. To say that we suffer is an embarrassment, because hostages are the ones that are suffering, 100%. And we feel guilty that we drink the cold water, that we take the nice shower, that we can use our hygiene correctly, the medicines, and looking good, and feel that's guilt. Because we are living here, and we're fighting here, and we're traveling all over the world, as many places that they want to send us to continue advocating and fighting and begging to all the governments, please. And you give us the strength to continue doing it. Is it a normal life for us? No, it's not. we smile, we joke, and everything like that, but it's right there. Shiri has one older sister, and we're fighting for the hostages to come back in my family, because if Shiri and the kids are not alive anymore, Dana has lost her whole family. I'm sorry I need to tell you this. It's sad. I stopped things that I needed to do this week, to come, and when Jessica called me, and Evie, somebody else in Israel that does a wonderful job for the hostages, and I left everything behind, taking my wife to Broadway, or going to Shabbat to the event that to the oil that they invited me to. They said, sorry, I can't do it. I'm coming here, my wife. Sure. So that's the life we have. They have full-time jobs, they have full-time family, little kids, and I'm retired, but it's still not easy. I will go back home and my whole body will start hurting because I'm an older guy. When I come to these events, I feel like a young guy and have all the koach to come and continue fighting for everybody. I see my family, I talk to them, and I know they're celebrating a bar mitzvah 2 days ago, or joking, and I laugh. Please make me laugh. It makes me laugh. The way it used to be before, they do, but it's absolutely not the same. And they tell you, they live in Israel, and they know that we need to go back to a normal life some way or another to end this and continue living like the way we deserve. Thank you.
Hello. How we continue? We have no other options. We must fight and return them all back. I'm start from the kibbutz, and I know 80 of the hostages at the start, 40 released, and now I know a lot are still there. I know their family, I know their fathers, I know them all. And we must fight. We have no option to stop fighting. We're going to fight for the last one, and then we can start grieving and a little bit celebrating for the life that's coming. So we don't have other options. We must keep fighting.
Just want to, before I ask you the final question, I'm going to ask you just to share a little bit about your dad, about your son, and about your family, so we can get to learn a little bit about them. What was your last memory of them? What do you miss the most? But before we do that, I just want to acknowledge Jessica, who's here, who is a volunteer. And when we spoke on the phone earlier this week, you said, we're volunteers. We do this because we love the people of Israel, because we have in our hearts this longing to be there and to connect with the people of Israel. And so if you want to know how you can help and how you can be a part of this, please speak to Jessica, who's here. Just raise your wave. That's Jessica. And she was really sweet on the phone and very gracious with her time. And of course, she brought all of you here, so we're grateful to her. So if you can just maybe tell us a little bit about your dad, about your son, about your family.
My dad and my mother, they met in the kibbutz. They established the kibbutz in 1957. They always fight for peace. Always, my father was a journalist and a peace fighter, and he was trying to make a better world all his life. My mother, she was a teacher, and now she's also fighting with us. She used to live in the kibbutz all her life, and she's gonna now living in a different place, and it's hard to move after 60 years. So we hope he's gonna come back and they establish the kibbutz back, and they can come back to living where they live most of their life. The last time I saw my father, it was when we are in a rally against changing in democracy in Israel. That's the last thing. He was fighting for until his last day, and I hope he's going to come back.
I got a chance to meet Omri's mother, in Kigar Hatufim, the Hostage Square. A wonderful woman knows my family, knows that he had the little one especially, and she enjoys it. And I asked her just before we came, is your mother going to go back to the kibbutz? Does she spoken about going back to the kibbutz? And you say yes. So all these people that live in that area in the kibbutz, completely leftist, let's put it this way, Hiloni, secular as much as they can be, they wanted to live together with the Palestinians. They thought, here, we can live next to you, come on, let's coexist. They betrayed them. They knew exactly where everybody else was, and they wrote maps, and they knew exactly where to go. They knew the roads better than I did. I know when I drive there. So they want to rebuild the kibbutz because they still believe, and they believe. They have not lost their belief that they can coexist. The Arab world the Palestinian has to understand that. The war right now is not against a Palestinian, that they have to understand that. Come on. It's not like going to fight in Gaza, and Israel has to fight, okay, whoever says terrorist, please raise your hand. And we're going to fight you, we're going to kill only you. They purposely, they go against around civilians to more Palestinian casualties for them. That's victory for them. That's the image that they want to give to Israel.
Okay, the story about Nimrod. Well, I must first of all say, maybe it's not interesting, the story of Nimrod, because we're talking about human beings. It doesn't matter if Nimrod is 20 or 30, was a soldier or not, blonde hair, dark hair, it doesn't matter. We're talking about human beings, and those human beings were violently kidnapped, and they have to be set free. But about Nimrod. Yeah, Nimrod is my son. I'm proud of him. Nimrod is a normal boy, like every other boy, like music, like go to trip in the field, got his friends, got his computer games, got a twin sister named Romy. She's now in the army. Got an older brother, Yotam, who he tried to follow his way. My older son, Yotam, was an officer in the armed corps. He fought in the beginning of the war in October, November. So, doesn't matter who Nimrod is. He's my son. I'm doing my duty as a parent. But the main thing, we're talking about human beings. We're talking about innocent people who has to get and set free. And again, I'm saying it again, the main thing we want, we are in a house of prayer, but I'm saying we don't need prayers, we don't need hugs, we need advocate. We need to advocate for a hostage deal. There is a deal now going on. They're not telling us anything on the one hand, but we are afraid that this deal will drop off like the other deal that was around June, July. We want this deal to get to its final step so hostages will walk out of Gaza like we saw in last November. We need this advocation. We need the help of the American government, the incoming administration of President Donald Trump, to push all sides to come to a hostage deal. We need you to pick up the phone, talk to who you can, advocate it, put it in post everywhere possible so a hostage deal will come, ceasefire will come, so we can continue in our life in Israel and we can get to political negotiations so we can end those terrorist groups around us. The only way to get that is political negotiation. We need to get to that. First point, first step is a hostage deal along with ceasefire, and you need your help to that. Thank you.
Thank you, really, for traveling here, for sharing the story about your families and how important advocacy is. And hopefully we all do our parts to show you that we're there for you, to support you, even though we can never, ever, ever even feel 1 ounce of what it's like to be you. So thank you for being here and for joining us today. We'll